Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Time, where we talk about the movies we like.
And the ones we don't.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Molly.
Sorry for slacking on the Christmas movies this time. We got a baby to take care of, so we're just gonna blame it all on her.
Yeah, life sure does get busy after you have a baby.
It sure do. But we got a little bit of time, so we're gonna be talking about Home Alone 2, the sequel to Home Alone. Duh. And really the only one that has any sort of connection with the first one, not counting Home Sweet Home Alone, which has Buzz in a cameo. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the only Home Alone sequel that people actually like.
Sorry, Tyler decided to start the video when he saw me grab Big Reese's. And he knows I savor those, so I'm still in the middle of eating it. And now he won't talk. I don't know what his deal is.
Well, you're talking. I'm not going to talk while you're talking.
Mm-hmm. I even gave you the sign to, keep talking. I'm obviously still eating.
Anyways, you big poop head.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Everyone type in the chat, Molly's a big poop head. Just type in the chat, Molly's a big poop head.
If you do, I will find you. And get you.
Still do it anyways. Anyways, Home Alone 2. Let's just get some general thoughts on this movie. It's been a while since I've seen this. Probably the last time I saw this movie was when Obama was president. So it's been a while, is what I'm saying. And just watching it again after so many years, I thought it was a pretty fun time. It's nothing compared to the first one. Like, this is seriously just like, bro, this is just the first movie just in New York. So there's a lot of repeating, a lot of things that happened in the first movie just roll over to this one, and they kind of make fun of the fact, like, this happened again. It's like, bro, do you really think that you could just get away with it by just saying, man, it happened again? A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I think I watched this one last year. I guess you didn't watch it with me. But yeah, I mean, it's still a good time. And like you said, yeah, it's obvious it is just a repeat of the first movie, and it definitely doesn't hold up quite as much. Because, I mean, the first one is a classic. But still, I still have a good time watching it.
Yeah, so let's get into this cast list, because why not, man? Why not?
All right, tell me who was in the movie.
Well, director Chris Columbus comes back to direct this one, and it's written once again by John Hughes. John Hughes is, of course, known for, a plethora of movies that appeal to, teenagers and people who grew up in the 80s, I suppose, like Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and The Breakfast Club. And Chris Columbus is best known these days for directing the first two Harry Potter movies, and he has another movie upcoming. He is a producer on this year's Nosferatu.
All right, yeah, that comes out on Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah, we could do that after we leave your mom's house.
Maybe. I hate going out on Christmas.
Yeah, we'd have to find someone to watch Clemmy too.
Yeah. So, maybe not.
Yeah, we'll see. Although, just looking at Chris Columbus's IMDb, he's actually Oscar nominated for Best Picture for The Help.
Oh, I didn't know he had anything to do with that.
Me neither. So that's kind of interesting. Anyways, let's get back to Home Alone 2. This once again stars Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister, the runt of the litter, who always finds himself just getting crapped on by his whole family, who is just the worst.
Yeah, they're really mean to him, and he kind of does seem a little annoying, but still, his family, I feel like, are very unnecessarily mean.
Yeah, he's a little bit more, deserving of it this year, because he is, growing up a little bit more. He's a bit more of an asshole, which, that's just how kids be sometimes. So, you know, I can give his family a little bit of leeway, but just a little bit. Uncle Frank still needs to, die because I hate him so much.
Wow, that's kind of a intense.
Well, it's a fictional character, so it's okay.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Buzz is still a real jerk.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
His parents are still buying Buzz's, BS year after year because they're stupid too.
Yeah, like at the beginning, Kevin and Buzz are at like some sort of choir concert.
Yeah, it's like some sort of Christmas recital, some stupid thing like that. I don't know. I never did something stupid like that.
Yeah, and Kevin has a solo, and during his solo, Buzz like jokes around, and to me, the audience seems like, I wouldn't think it would be that funny. I might chuckle a little, but they were like roaring with laughter. But anyway, it causes this whole scene, and Buzz really sucks up to his parents, apologizing. But I mean, even though he doesn't mean it, and they buy his apology.
Yeah, Kevin punches Buzz, and somehow he's able to take out all the other members of the recital. It's kind of ridiculous. A little funny, though, because just like, to me, it seems like Buzz told everyone that, hey, I'm going to mess with my brother, and he's probably going to punch me. So when I fall down, all of us fall down. It'll be great. It'll get him in more trouble. I would not be surprised if Buzz did that. But then again, Buzz is kind of a dumbass, so maybe he wouldn't actually do that.
No, I mean, the people falling over definitely looked surprised. But yeah, I don't understand how. I mean, it created some sort of domino effect where even the people in the front row were falling down. So, I don't know.
Yeah, for some reason, when Kevin punched Buzz, everyone collapsed, kind of like a House of Cards. You were expecting something else, a different sort of reference for me, weren't you?
I was. Yep.
Well, just like Rian Johnson, I like to subvert expectations.
Okay.
Okay, anyways. Also, coming back from the first movie is, well, everyone, really. But more importantly, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern as Harry and Marv, the Sticky Bandits this time. They just broke out of prison, and they're trying to rob a toy store because, honestly, this isn't a bad plan. They figure they're not going to want to make any deposits on Christmas Eve, and what stores on Christmas Eve are going to have a lot of sales that people aren't going to expect people to rob? Toy stores.
Yeah, they do have a point to rob the toy store.
They just happen to be trying to rob the one toy store who is giving all of their money away to charity, which puts them on Kevin's, puts him in his target.
Yeah, and you do not want to be in Kevin McAllister's target.
I feel like if these guys were trying to rob a different sort of toy store, something like maybe a KB Toys or Toys R Us, something like that, Kevin wouldn't really care because, like, oh, well, they're not taking money away from sick kids because like I said, the toy store that they're robbing from, Duncan's, gives all the money that they take in on Christmas Eve to this children's hospital, which is very nice of him. He's a very nice man. I feel like if they were stealing from something more corporate, Kevin really wouldn't care. Like, okay, maybe he would try to get them arrested anyways because these are guys that try to kill him, but I feel like he'd be less inclined to if they were stealing from, like I said, a KB Toys or a Toys R Us or whatever toy stores are in New York.
Yeah. You're probably right.
I'm showing my age by saying KB Toys and Toys R Us, but I don't care.
I do not know KB Toys, but I do remember Toys R Us.
Catherine O'Hara and John Hurd come back as Kevin's parents, Kate and Peter. Honestly, I love Catherine O'Hara in these movies. She is awesome. Like, she just the amount of personality she's able to give, and she's able to do a whole lot more in this one too. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara is great in anything.
Everything.
Yeah, it's everything she's in. So it's always good to see her again.
John Hurt, unfortunately, passed away in 2017 at the age of 71. And he is missed today.
Yep. I think I've only seen him in Home Alone.
Catherine O'Hara, on the other hand, has a pretty good relationship with Macaulay Culkin to the point where, he calls her mom.
Yeah. So probably pretty close.
Well, definitely closer than he is with his own parents, who, stole from him.
Yeah, I mean, child actors, I can't imagine. It's probably bad.
Yeah. Devin Ratray comes back as Buzz. Hate this kid. Love his actor, though. He's great. Same thing with Gary Bamman playing Uncle Frank. Absolute just asshole. But, actor's doing a great job, so keep it up.
Yep. Yes.
We also have Macaulay Culkin's real-life brother, Kieran Culkin, return as Fuller, who gets a few more lines this time around. This time he's not just the guy who, threatens to piss the bed if he drinks anything. Here, he gets to act a little bit more like a kid.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't really remember too much of what he does. I mean, I guess we do see him a little bit more.
We get to see him be excited for Christmas. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
And it's funny. We see when at the end all the McAllister kids in the hotel room that Kevin got them, and everyone's just sprawled out on like couches, pull-out beds, stuff like that. And Fuller is the only one in this actual bed because no one wants to share the bed with his bedwetter. Just absolute 5D level chess move. Absolute genius, kid.
Yeah, and he has some like Pepsi cans on the bed next to him, so he was prepared.
This movie is also one of the best known movies from Tim Curry, who plays the concierge, and like from the start, he is absolutely suspicious of Kevin, which good reason, mind you, but still, it's like chill. But as with all roles, Tim Curry is just absolutely magnetic. You can't take your eyes off him.
Yeah, and he's always more like you would think. You see a kid walk into a hotel by himself and check out a room. You think I mean, obviously you would be suspicious, but he was more like malicious instead of like concerned that there's a child by himself. He's like, this child is up to no good instead of where's this kid's parents? Like, this is so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, Donald Trump shows up and he shows a little bit of concern. He like looks back after Kevin asks him where the lobby is, and he's like, wait, is that a kid by himself? But I guess Donald Trump had Trump things to do, so he couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. It's just kind of funny how they treat this kid. They treat him like a villain instead of just like a lost child.
Same thing with the bellman played by Rob Schneider. It's just like you guys are going a bit hard on this kid for no reason.
Yeah. They're just out to get him. They're like, oh man, he's up to no good. We need to find out what. And not, oh, we need to find this kid's parents.
Like the one adult in New York who has any sort of actual concern for Kevin is the pigeon lady played by Brenda Fricker. She's this Irish lady whose husband left her, and now she just has her pigeons. So she's kind of like a woman version of Pigeon Man from Hey Arnold, except this story is a bit happier.
I didn't watch much Hey Arnold.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Wasn't my type of show.
Anyways, yeah, Pigeon Lady is this movie's old man Marley, except Kevin doesn't really know anything about her. He just thinks that she's creepy because little kids make snap judgments. You know how it is.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But he warms up to her pretty quickly after he meets her in the park and realizes that all the pigeons around her means that she's cool, I guess.
Yeah, if the pigeons trust her, then he can trust her.
So yeah, Kevin's family still sucks. Just a bunch of mean people.
Yeah, mean people and parents who don't double check if their kid is behind them on the plane.
Though to be fair, they did make sure that they brought him to the airport.
Yeah. I know that their lives are hectic and they're running late, but still, I would make sure my child is on the plane before I even got set down. So, I don't know.
Though to be fair, we only have one kid. They have like 7.
Yeah, there's a lot. But yeah, so maybe they're tired and they just trust the kids will be fine. But
Why would you do that?
yeah, I would not.
Then again, my mom only had to take care of the 3 of us, and she still managed to lose one of my sisters when we went to a concert.
What concert?
I was Foreigner.
Which sister?
Bella.
Yeah. I shouldn't laugh.
It's a little funny.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. The general, the base that we were living on, brought her back to my mom, so it was fine.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Another one of Kevin's big toys in this movie this time around is his tape recorder that he uses to pretty impressive degree. Like, this thing records audio perfectly. Is this at all accurate? No, not really. Do I care? Only a little bit.
I don't really care. It is kind of funny that this children's toy from the 90s records sound so well.
This is recording sound in like 4K quality audio. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but you know what? It kind of is, but it doesn't matter. The point is, it is way better sound than you would expect from, like you said, a 90s children's toy.
Yep.
But I'm okay with it because it's funny.
It is funny, yes. It leads to some funny shenanigans.
Geez, I didn't take a whole lot of notes. I have one of my notes is just Tim Curry with 3 hearts right next to his name.
You love Tim Curry.
Who doesn't?
Fair enough.
Yeah, Tim Curry, amazing, great job. Keep doing what you're doing. Just, I love you.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, I don't really like the character, but like as intended. But I love Tim Curry in the role.
Yeah, I think he really. I think if it was somebody else in the role, I would not like the character.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like I feel like a more serious actor would have hurt this role, because when you see Tim Curry in the role, you know he's gonna be incredibly silly, but you also know that's kind of his thing, so you just go with it.
Yeah, and the role, needed to be a little silly. I think. I thought it was fine.
I love when Kevin got them with the Angels with Filthy Souls sequel, and he was making it seem like this guy was arguing with Tim Curry about smooching with his brother, and then one of the other names that this mobster's lady was smooching with was a guy named Cliff, and one of the guys right next to him is named Cliff.
Yeah, so all the other workers look at him and they're like, ooh, and Cliff's is like, no, it's a lie.
I think that one might have been true, though.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, Home Alone 2 is, like I said, basically the same thing as the first one, except a bit bigger. Bigger doesn't always mean better, though. I feel like a lot of the fun of the first Home Alone is that he's confined to this small area. Now, granted, he is able to go out and do things that he needs to do, but it definitely feels more personal when he's defending his own home against these burglars.
Yeah, I agree. But in this movie, we see he leads them to his uncle's house, I think.
Yeah, they're renovating this place, and he sets up all these sorts of traps, which, by the way, they 100% should have died from these. Like, you can make the argument in the first movie that they would have been okay, but in this one, dude, they get all sorts of messed up. Marv gets like 7 or 8 bricks hit him in the face. It's like, after a while, it got a bit uncomfy. But then it happened again, and it just became funny again.
Yeah, and these are bricks thrown from a tall building, so
It was like 3 or 4 stories up. That brick would kill you.
yeah, and he had that big bag of whatever.
Wrenches.
Yeah. No, that bag, whenever he was pulling on the rope.
Oh, the bag of cement. But there was also a bunch of wrenches and hammers that fell on Harry.
Yeah. Like that was a heavy bag, and he would have definitely, yeah, and it landed right on top of his head. He got electrocuted.
Yeah, we saw his bones, which I thought might have just been for comedic effect, but still.
I think you might be right there.
But these guys are getting put through all sorts of punishment. I'm surprised that they're able to even move by the time they catch up with Kevin. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they recover really well from these things. Must be pretty tough.
Yeah, either that or, well, Marv's too stupid to die, and Harry's too angry to die. So it's kind of like it's kind of like an Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy and Guts from Berserk sort of situation, like with these two.
They're fueled by anger and silliness.
Stupidity or silliness. These go hand in hand.
Yes, sure.
Especially with Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Ali Sheedy was actually one of the candidates to play Kate, but she made a cameo as an airport clerk in this movie as a favor to John Hughes.
Okay, yeah.
There was a deleted scene that had Kevin with a similar aftershave scene like he did in the first movie, but Chris Columbus cut it for 2 reasons. The movie's already 2 hours, and he wanted people to not think that he was just remaking the first one.
Yeah, sure.
So they on TV showings they cut out a lot of scenes. One of which being on with most network broadcasts, they cut out the scene where Kevin visits the World Trade Center. To be honest, I forgot that he actually went up there.
Yeah, I did too. Probably because I would watch it on TV a lot whenever it would come on, and yeah, they probably cut it because I didn't know that was in there.
Yeah, and for obvious reasons, I don't know what the top of the World Trade Center looks like. So when he was up there, I just didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
You know, surprisingly or not, there's not a whole lot of World Trade Center appearances in the last 23 years. I can't imagine why.
I was about to say, I wonder why.
We're terrible.
Yeah, that's you, not me.
Fair enough. Other scenes that get cut are Marv getting hit with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th brick. So I guess he only gets hit a few times.
Yeah, all right.
Marv's battle with the staple gun, where he gets shot in the nuts and the butthole.
Yep, painful.
Marv being electrocuted by the sink, and the tool chest squashing Harry and Marv. So they're cutting out most of the violence. That's lame.
Yeah, that is lame. That's like all the really parts that would think they would die.
Blame ABC Family / Freeform for that.
Yeah.
The bunch of poop heads.
Yep.
And since 2014, Canada's CBC television cuts Donald Trump's cameo, though this was a year before he announced his presidential campaign, so it's got nothing to do with Orange Man bad stuff.
Yeah, maybe just more for time.
Probably, I don't know, but ABC and Freeform and VH1 keep the Trump cameo. Which I think, regardless of how you feel about him, I just think that cameo is funny because it's like Kevin walks up to the guy who owns the building and is like, "Hey, where's the lobby?" And he, like, with no clue of who this guy is, and Trump just tells him where it is, and then he looks back like, "Wait, is that a kid all by himself?"
Yeah, it is funny. Yeah, but he doesn't know who he is. I'm sure whenever I watched this as a kid and, had no idea who Donald Trump was, I probably was just like, okay, a nice man is telling him where to go. But yeah, it's funny. I think it is.
Joe Biden would have been asking the kid where the lobby is.
I believe that.
And it's also kind of weird to cut that scene out, because without it, how does Kevin know where the lobby is? Plot hole.
I know. He would just be wandering around. And
Then he'd really be lost in New York.
yeah, for sure.
Donald Trump kept him from being even more lost in New York.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Stuff. Okay, and now you haven't done much of flying in your time.
Just the one time.
Just the one time, actually.
And it was this year.
It was this year, and we're about to do it next week, too.
Yeah, my second time.
Same place, though, San Diego.
Yep.
Anyway, so this movie clearly taking place in a pre-9/11 world, as we pointed out.
Yes.
Kevin getting on the plane without having his boarding pass actually checked would not happen these days.
Yeah, there's probably no way.
No. This would only happen because, well, for one, they were kind of pressed for time, and two, they didn't actually have to scan the thing. They would have had just to look at it. And it's also weird, like later on in the movie, after he leaves the hotel, it seems like he's going to try to get back on another plane to go to somewhere or another, and he's taking his boarding pass with him, but then Harry or Marv, one of those two, rips it up, and I'm just thinking that wouldn't have helped him either way, though. But again, pre-9/11 world, it's probably okay.
Yeah, it's probably a lot different.
Let's see. Okay, so the reason why Donald Trump has a cameo is because Chris Columbus wanted to film in the Plaza Hotel's actual lobby, and Trump, being the owner at the time, agreed if he can appear in the movie.
That's what I would do. If I owned a building and people wanted to film in it, I would say, yes, you can, but I want to show up somewhere.
And I've heard somewhere that the carpet that they had in the lobby at the time, it was just there for the movie, but Trump really liked it, so he kept it.
Yes. Very elaborate, if I remember.
Chris Columbus considered editing out the Trump scene, but he left it in after the test audiences responded positively to it.
Yeah, it's funny.
John Hughes originally wrote Kevin to have a gun.
Wow. When?
I think it was one of the earlier drafts, but just
I mean, like, when in the movie?
Okay, he was convinced to change it to something that could be taken onto a flight.
Oh. So, he was going to have it the whole time through the movie.
Maybe. Come on, it's New York. You can find a gun.
Yeah, he might be able to. That's funny. What did they change it to then?
The Talk Boy.
Oh, all right.
Originally, Kevin was going to rain more paint cans down the stairs.
Yeah.
And at one point, John Candy was going to make a cameo as Gus Polinski. But Candy was kind of bitter about the small pay he got for the first movie, despite his massive financial success, and refused to return. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, sure.
A trap that was used in the novelization, but not in the final movie, featured Kevin putting super glue on a piece of cloth that Marv would try to use to clean his face, and then it got stuck. And then he would yank it off so hard it would pull his beard off in the process.
Nice.
Yeah, we've talked quite a long time about this movie that does the same thing as its predecessor, and honestly, it's an all right time. It's perfectly fine. It's fun enough. I don't have much more to say on Home Alone 2, but considering we're going to be talking about it for around 30 minutes, maybe I have more to talk about it than I realized.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfectly fine. It's a Christmas movie. Watch it around Christmas time. Get in the Christmas spirit. All that jazz.
Yeah, I feel like this movie, in some ways, feels a bit more Christmassy than the first one, because I feel like there's more of an emphasis in some places on the aspects of family and togetherness and stuff like that, and and not just togetherness with your family, but being open to others too, like with Kevin and the Pigeon Lady and Mr. Duncan.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, there's not to say there's nothing like that in the first movie, because he has his moments with Old Man Marley too,
Yep. He does. A good heart to heart in the church.
which helps him when Old Man Marley comes through for him and bashes the wet bandits' heads in.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Out of all the Home Alone movies I've seen, which is 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know. I'd say only watch the first 2. They are really the only ones worth watching. I haven't seen Sweet Home Alone or whatever that thing was with the kid from Jojo Rabbit, but from what I could tell, it doesn't seem worth your time.
I've just seen.
Bless you.
Sorry. I've just seen the first 2. Sorry, I had to sneeze in the middle of that.
Yeah, so stick to the first 2. That's all we have to say. This is a decently fun movie. Don't skip the first one, though. Definitely watch that.
Obviously, don't skip the best one.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.